Oyagala okumanya ebiriwo, ebyaliwo, oba ebigenda okubaawo. Program Tambula n'okumanya eggose. Tambula n'okumanya ku MRU TV ne Royal FM.
Thomas Friedman, the journalist who explained globalization. In a world shaped by war, conflicts, oil, power, and globalization, few journalists have tried to explain it all. Meet Thomas Friedman, a man who didn't just report news but tried to interpret the future of the world itself. From the war zones of the Middle East to the corridors of power in Washington, his words have influenced presidents, policymakers, and millions of leaders worldwide. But the question is, who really is Thomas Friedman? Thomas Friedman is one of the most influential journalists of the modern era, a man whose work has shaped how millions understand global politics, war, and globalization. As a long-time columnist of the New York Times, Friedman has built a reputation not just as a reporter but as a thinker, someone who tries to explain how the world truly works. His writing goes beyond headlines, connecting conflicts, economies, and technology into one big global story. The man I'm talking about was born on July 20th, 1953 in Minneapolis, the United States. Friedman's journey into international journalism began early. As a young man, he traveled to the Middle East, particularly Israel, where he developed a deep fascination with the region. That early exposure would define his entire career. Friedman later studied Middle Eastern and Mediterranean studies at Brandeis University before continuing his education at the University of Oxford. Thomas Friedman also spent time studying in cities like Jerusalem and Cairo of Egypt, immersing himself in the culture, politics, and tensions of the region he would one day report on extensively. However, Friedman's journalism career began with United Press International in London, but his real breakthrough came when he was sent to Beirut in the year 1979. At that time, Lebanon was in the middle of a brutal civil war, and Friedman found himself reporting from one of the most dangerous places in the world. In 1981, he joined the New York Times and soon returned to Beirut as a correspondent. It was here that he witnessed the realities of the war up close: violence, displacement, and the human cost of political conflict. During the 1980s, Friedman became one of the most recognized Western journalists covering the Middle East. He reported on major events such as the Lebanese Civil War, the Israeli invasion of Lebanon in the year 1982, and the shocking Sabra and Shatila massacre. He later moved to Jerusalem as bureau chief, where he covered the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the First Intifada. His reporting stood out because it combined deep political analysis with human storytelling, bringing the realities of the region to a global audience. This work earned him 2 Pulitzer Prizes for international reporting, solidifying his reputation as a top foreign correspondent. In 1989, Friedman published one of his most important works, From Beirut to Jerusalem. The book was both a personal memoir and detailed analysis of the Middle East, offering readers a powerful insight into the region's complexity. It went on to win the National Book Award, and it remains one of the most influential books ever written about the Middle East conflicts. After years of covering war, Friedman transitioned into a broader role in Washington, where he began reporting on the U.S. foreign policy, global diplomacy, and the end to the Cold War. By 1995, he became a foreign affairs columnist for the New York Times. This marked a turning point in his career. Instead of just reporting events, Friedman began interpreting them, explaining not just what was happening, but why it mattered and how it connected to larger global trends. What truly sets Friedman apart is highly his ability to simplify complex global ideas. In his famous book, The World is Flat, he argued that globalization and technology were flattening the world, making it more interconnected and competitive. His writing style uses simple language and relatable examples, making difficult topics like international trade, geopolitics, and technological changes accessible for ordinary readers. Over the years, Friedman has received numerous awards, including 3 Pulitzer Prizes, 2 for his reporting and 1 for his commentary. His columns are read worldwide, and his ideas have influenced policymakers, business leaders, and the general public. He has interviewed world leaders and covered some of the most important events of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. However, Friedman's work has not been without criticism. Some critics argue that his views on globalization are too optimistic, while others believe that his perspectives on the Middle East can be controversial. Despite this, his influence remains undeniable. He continues to be a central voice in discussions about global politics, economies, and international relations. Today, Thomas Friedman stands as more than just a journalist. He is a global interpreter, a man who has spent decades trying to make sense of a complicated and rapidly changing world. From the war-torn streets of Beirut to the opinion pages of the New York Times, his career reflects the power of journalism, not only to report events, but to explain them. In the end, Friedman's story raises an important question. Can journalism truly explain the world, or does it simply offer one way of understanding it? Whatever the answer may be, his work continues to shape how we see the world today. This is Rhodine the Spy, where global stories are uncovered, one truth at a time. A very good morning.